The time has come. Ah, and I'm lagging again, aren't I? Wait, am I? No, okay, well, no, there's a little lag. People last week were kind of saying videos seemed a little quiet. The videos I was doing seemed a little quiet. That's because whenever like the volume's really high on here, it seems to cause a little bit of lag or something kind of wrong with the sync. It doesn't always happen, but still. But hey, look, we're here. I got my chops. I got my claws. I got my swag. So let's talk Wolverine and Deadpool, baby. Yeah, no. My girlfriend and I went last night. My out of the theater reactions up. Had a great time. Love the film. Don't bury the lead. But we had to get some. I saw it. I'm like, oh, I like this immediately better than my last Jedi Cup. This is far more. It's gonna last far longer than that thing did. Last Jedi Cup's is larger, but that's really all it's got going for it. But yeah, these claws were not from the theater. These are from Spirit Halloween. So yeah, but I have them, so I'm like, hey, sorry, bub. And of course, as you saw, popcorn puppet, popcorn bucket. Oh yes. Now this is not the popcorn bucket that they've been advertising. The one where it looks like it's literally Wolverine just guzzling stuff. No, this one, because I have a Cinemark, so I don't think it was available for Cinemark, but literally, unlike the other, this just opens at the top, and you literally just put the popcorn in. It does look like it might open up, but I'm not 100% sure. I haven't figured that out if it does. I don't think this does. I think this is just the way it looks, but still, popcorn bucket! Anyway, I digress. So we're almost 2 minutes in. Deadpool Wolverine. Obviously, you saw my out-of-theater reaction if you watched it. I adored this film. I absolutely adore it. Everything you pretty much... I won't talk about anything that's not in the trailer, and if I talk about like just the plot, I'll just do bare bones. Everything you've kind of heard about in terms of the good is true. This is hard art. This might be the hardest art Deadpool's gone, honestly. It is gory. It is bloody. It is violent. It is raunchy. The sex jokes are a little on the low end, but it's still raunchy in terms of like the type of humor it's doing. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are still... It's beautiful. We finally get these two guys together as these characters, and it is wonderful. It is a love letter to the Fox era of Marvel. I'm still feeling like I've got a little bit of lag. It's almost corrected, but not quite. I'm maybe just going to turn my volume down just a little bit to see if that helps a little bit. And then I'll turn it back up for some videos later on where my face doesn't need to be directly here. Because that's the thing. With videos where I'm like small in the corner or not on the screen at all, lag doesn't matter. Because you're not really looking that much at me. But here, I'm kind of the main focus. So... where was it? Yes, it is very much a love letter to the Fox era of Marvel. And it embraces that wholeheartedly. And if you knew anything about the Fox era of Marvel, then you will recognize a lot of what's going on. Characters that show up, here or there, and story beats, references. You'll recognize all of it. And if you're a fan in any capacity of it, you will love it. Absolutely. It's also a very heartfelt film too. Really, it's about people who are lost and ultimately finding something that brings them back. And I would say that is the most simplistic way to describe this Deadpool and Wolverine story, is that they're two lost individuals. This Wolverine, this is not really a spoiler. It's pretty much been confirmed. This is not the Wolverine from the X-Men universe, Logan, all that. They do address that Logan. They do address that Wolverine, but this is not that Wolverine. This is a different Wolverine. And something has happened in his past where he is just destitute, down on his... not destitute, but he is down on his luck. He is depressed. He's just drinking immensely. And Hugh Jackman plays that really well. He has the brunt of the more serious scenes. He definitely's got his own level of humor to him, but he's got the brunt of the serious scenes, and man, when he's delivering, he is delivering. He's got a couple fantastic moments. I mean, he's good throughout the entire film, but in terms of like dramatic appeal, dramatic moments, he's got at least 2 or 3 moments. There's a scene in the car where he's literally just ripping into Deadpool, not literally, but like giving him like a verbal lash, and like it is scathing what he says. Um, and there's a conversation between him and Cassandra Nova that I really liked, like a scene between them that I really liked between both the characters. So I thought that, and that's a good segue. The villains, I believe it's been revealed, but I won't. So there's technically two villains. One is like the main antagonist initially, and then Cassandra Nova is kind of like becomes the main antagonist. What was it? Emily or Emma Corden? I believe that what their name is. They're non-binary. I believe it's Emma Corden. Loved them. I loved Cassandra Nova. I've known about Cassandra Nova for years. I've never really read like E for Extinction or anything like that. But I've known about her and her origin, and she's got a pretty like messed up origin. She is insanely powerful, and I just love. I think they compared her to like Willy Wonka, the producers and stuff like that of the film, and it's kind of she's got this quirky arrogance about her, but she knows she's the baddest. She's the baddest one in the room, so. Like she's like has no fear or hesitation whatsoever. But even that and what her ultimate plan becomes, I'm not going to give it too much away, but becomes, it's not anything like unique or outstanding, but it still like would make sense for this character. But even she, and here's what I really appreciate about the character, even she's got layers to her. Despite the fact the character in the comics is pretty much pure evil, this character is surprisingly not pure evil. She's evil, so she's a villain, and she will kill people in horrific ways. But particularly with the moment with Logan. That's the moment I'm really leaning into here. The moment in Logan, and you see a little bit of this in the trailer. You don't actually see what the moment is, like their conversation, but you see it in the trailer where he's confronting her, and she just like moves puppets and like. Boom. She like did that, and then later on they're talking. There is a moment immediately after that, and then later on where I'm like, she's not. There's still a level of humanity in her, which is amazing. Like there's a level of her that can still connect with people. Granted, she's completely twisted, but there's still something there, and I really appreciate that they didn't just make her completely one note in terms of her character. Yeah, her motivation, whatever, is very simple, simplistic, whatever. But in terms of what she actually is as a being is very unique in my mind. Obviously, the cameos, there are cameos galore. There's a montage that's really fun. It's and what you've heard is true. The cameos are there, but they're not like fun, except for like during the montage. There's I think one or two kind of cameos that happened that were just like flash and pans, but it's a montage, so it's fine. The main cameos in the movie actually serve a narrative purpose, and they're not. Is it fair to say they're not truly cameos? I'll say this: I don't think they're actually. They go one step beyond cameos. They are minor cameo. They're minor cameos. The cameo Cheerios. But no, they're minor characters. They're minor cameos that are minor. Sorry, not minor. They're major cameos that are minor characters, which means they're not just a flash in the pan. Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm gone. No, they're actually there and they have purpose in the film, and I really appreciate that as well. And the cameos, man. This is the one part I don't like about me watching like movie talk shows and stuff like that. I kind of knew a couple of the cameos that were coming, and the internet unfortunately kind of spoiled me on one. Like a few days prior, I was doing my best to avoid scrolling, and then I saw what the post-credit scene was. I'm like, crap! Now I know that's coming, but whatever. It still didn't really hurt anything. That post-credit scene is hilarious. It's not imperative for the future of the MCU, but it's a hilarious post-credit scene. Ryan Reynolds, I talked about Hugh Jackman. Ryan Reynolds is in top form for this. I was watching Doug Walker's review of the movie a little while earlier before I did the video, and he said he didn't think Ryan was very funny. Like he wasn't funny at all with the mask off. He's pretty much always funny with the mask on, but when he had the mask off, be it in the suit or not, he wasn't that funny. And I disagree. I respect the opinion, and I can actually see where that could come from, because the scenes with him when he's doesn't have his mask on aren't written overly. They're not written like he is. They're not written for him like they are when his mask is on. When he's just completely just quipping and being nonchalant and irreverent. He's more because his character is actually kind of dealing with stuff in the movie, and that the basic plot of the movie is Deadpool. And again, not giving you much beyond what the trailers gave you. Deadpool has been retired for a little bit as a superhero. Something has happened. He is retired. He's no longer with Vanessa. That's also more or less been revealed. That was revealed. So that's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. That has been basically revealed. But the TV obviously come knocking at his door. They say, Wade, we want you to join the MCU, the sacred timeline. But there's also a problem where his world is his previous world and everyone in it is at stake. So he has to go find a Wolverine to help him, however he needs to help him, and then shenanigans ensue beyond that. It's a race against time to save his world. That's your bare bones plot, more or less. I mean, I included him and Vanessa being broken up, and by the way, again, that has more or less been revealed at this point, okay? You can infer that. So that's, and by the way, that's really not a crux. It's important for his character journey and growth in the movie, but it's not important for the film. So don't worry. At least not in any way that would be like, oh no, I can't enjoy the film. No. Let me put it this way. If you're someone who can't enjoy it because that happened, I have a feeling you're watching the movie for the wrong reasons. I mean, look, to each their own. If that's something that doesn't work for you, that's something that doesn't work for you. But if you really can't put aside that fact and just try to watch the movie for the rest of it, I don't know what to tell you on that. So yeah, and because we catch up to him after he's been retired, as a character, I feel like he's at a low in his life, which he definitely is. And because of that, he's not doing all the quips and the one-liners the same way he used to. Still, and yet I still think there's plenty of laughs to be had with him, even with the mask off. Like that scene you see in the trailer where TVA comes to the store, it's like, whoa, friend. Pegging isn't new for me, but it is for Disney. That scene goes on longer. It's hilarious. It really is funny. The jokes, I'll say, I don't think all the jokes were. Let me get into a few of the negatives. Not even call negatives. Let me wrap up my positives. Like I said, the action sequence is visceral and bloody. The final fight I won't say what it is exactly, but it is kind of awesome. It really is. The fan service is at the yin-yang in this film, and God bless it, it's done right. Now, with all that being said, after sitting on it for about 24 hours now, I can say there are a few things that stick out to me as maybe didn't quite work. One, like I said, not every joke is going to land. In fact, not every joke landed in the original Deadpool or Deadpool 2. I go back and forth on whether I like which one I like more. I'm one of the people who actually, at some points in this time, when he's in the mood, likes Deadpool 2 more. Honestly, that end scene with him going to meet Vanessa in the afterlife with that slow acoustic cover Take On Me, honestly, it trumps a lot of what in Deadpool 1. It really does. Like that is a beautiful moment. Beautiful. That's a tear-worthy moment. But not every joke in this movie hits. It doesn't. Yeah, but I would say at least 90% of them hit, at least for me. I've heard people say that it's felt a little long, or that it drags a little bit in the second act. I didn't personally feel that, and I'll have to see it again, because I'm going to see it at least 2 more times. It's going to take my dad to see it in a couple of weeks after crowds die down a bit and his vacation comes up. But I'll probably see it on my own maybe sometime. I was going to possibly see it again tonight, but I'm like, I got videos to do. No, I'm good. At least for now. I definitely will see it at least the second time, and definitely a third time. Well, at least the second time. I'll see it definitely a second time, and possibly a third time as well. at least once again on my own, and then take my dad as well. But I could see where you might think the pacing's a little off here or there. If we are talking about in the middle, where they're just kind of basically the diner scene to the campfire scene in the trailer, I think that's the best way to kind of describe the pacing in those scenes. Like the section where I think people are kind of talking about. If we're talking about that, yeah, I could maybe see a little bit of it dragging, particularly with a character. While I think the character is hilarious, I do think, you know what, I could agree with that character. While funny, you could have done maybe something else. I think I can get behind that. The last thing, though, I will say, and this I think is my biggest little takeaway, and it's not a negative because it's something Marvel is definitely going to capitalize on later down the road, is that without going into too much detail, this is supposed to be Deadpool joining the MCU. Without going into too much detail, Deadpool, it's still not really, how can I say this? Hey, the connecting to the MCU, I think, could have been done better. I'll put it that way. But, I think I know what they're trying to get at, and it's going to come to play later down the road in like Secret Wars and things along those lines. So I think I know what they're planning at, but I couldn't tell you without going into many spoilers. I will say, though, it will still probably involve the TVA, and I'll leave it at that. So overall, though, I absolutely adored this film. This film was pretty much everything I had hoped for. Look, I loved Hugh Jack. Grew up on Hugh Jack's Wolverine. All of us did. I mean, most of us anyway. If you were, young enough to be going to see that first X-Men film, and you're like, oh, it's Wolverine, and then Wolverine kept coming and coming. You're like, Hugh Jackman, he's awesome. Oh my god! And then he came back to do this again. Now will he be back again? Will Hugh be back again? That's up in the air. That'd be entirely up. It's the multiverse. Like, I'm not going to say what happens to Wolverine at the end of the film, obviously, but it's the multiverse, so anything can happen. It's going to be completely up to you. It's going to be completely up to you. Personally, I think we will see him again. I think Hugh had a lot of fun coming back to the character. Yes, the workouts are intense. Absolutely. He is 55. But at the same time, it's not like he would be the MCU's Wolverine. I can say that right. I can say that definitively. He's not the MCU's Wolverine. He would be kind of passing the torch on or whatever. However they would bring him back again, I shall say. But I personally, again, I'd love to see him as long as he wants to keep coming back. But at the same time, if this really is the last outing, God bless you. You gave us a good one to go out on. Now, as good as Logan, but Logan's a very different film to this. And you gave us a lot more of the comic accurate stuff than Logan. So, you know what? I'll take the even trade. Either way, though, I digress. So, have you seen the movie yet? What'd you think? Do not post spoilers in the comments. This is a non-spoiler review. I'm trying to tiptoe my ass around talking about spoilers right now. I'm not doing a spoiler review either, because my dad can hear me, and he does not want to be spoiled. Luckily, he doesn't have a computer, so he doesn't have to worry about getting spoiled that way. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys for Who Would Win. I'll be up with Who Would Win in a little bit. Later.